in one of hip-hop's classic tales of idols turned into rivals.
I want to thank BET for, excuse me Kanye, I'm going to let you continue, but
the world got to witness how one's little brother could suddenly turn into the bigger thorn in his side.
It feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there.
I'm evil.
How a missed event transformed into a tirade of rants.
JayZ, call me, bro. You still ain't called me.
Where not even one's kids are off limits.
I feel like people feel like that was like probably the worst tweet you said.
Or the best.
And we've gotten past bigger issues, but you brought my family into it. Now it's a problem with me.
And how one song predicted the future of where backhanded slights are now public knowledge. This story began when an ambitious Chicago native entered the Roc.
And I'm the newest member of the Roc-A-Fella team.
One of the top labels at the time, with one of the most mainstream artists who put platinum on the map. Kanye felt there was no better home for him to set his mark on the music business, especially since one of his idols was king there. But what can't be left out of this story is his idol from the jump did not have Ye's best interest, but rather his own, making it known in the beginning that Ye should just stick to beats and leave the lyrics to someone such as himself.
We don't talk to him about anything. He doesn't come in unless he's mad. So like, he made a vote. It was like we had to vote. So when we did the vote for Kanye, he voted no.
Thankfully for Ye, the one who discovered him, Dame Dash, didn't agree.
Voted no for Kanye. That happened.
Yeah.
That's a dumb move right there.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. I fought for Kanye.
He felt that all of Ye's talents should be utilized. He showed this by giving Kanye one of his first verses on a track presented by DJ Clue called Champions, even letting him open up the track.
What I will say about Kanye is he's the only one on a real level that's given me a certain kind of respect. The only. And what happened was I had asked Just Blaze to flip that beat for me, and Just Blaze did not. And I was aggravated about it. Like I yelled at him about it probably, because I found it disrespectful. Like I send an order and you fucking don't prioritize it. And I asked Kanye to do it, he did it that day, at night. And you know, history was made. And it was just because of the respect that he gave me is the reason why it was so successful. It was the first record he got played on the radio as a rapper.
Yeah.
It had it was beautiful.
I mean, in fact, that was the first moment we knew.
And it was the first time Queen had actually cleared a sample. They cleared it for me.
It's the producer on the rock. He rap better than most rappers. Well, if these niggas all about they self for a change.
This track would include the Roc's biggest artists such as Beanie Siegel and Cameron. But there was one artist missing, Hov. Eventually things would go south between Jay-Z and Dame Dash with one of the most well-known hip-hop swindling moves.
that's why I'm asking questions. Everybody looking dumb in the face. So what was we doing? What was we talking about in terms of Jay? Let me know.
A war, which Jay-Z would eventually win by taking everything Dame built from him, even the most prized possession. Later on, Jay-Z would taunt Dame by asking him, why not make another Hov?
I heard saying they made Hov say, okay, so make another Hov.
When in actuality, Dame did. And his name was Kanye West.
Home, well, let's kill all the poly and I offer you a cosmopolitan. Let's jet out the club, get some oxygen.
But Jay-Z ended up taking that as well, in a move even Kanye would eventually admit was dirty.
So Dame Dash pretty much put his stamp on you.
Yeah.
So when the Roc-A-Fella Records team broke up, that was big news everywhere in the music industry. Dame Dash and Jay-Z are gonna split. Some artists are gonna go over here and others are gonna go over there. You chose to stick with Jay-Z. Why did you choose to stick with him when it seems by appearance that Dame is the one that supported you in the beginning? Do you think that's disloyal?
Yep. I think a lot of just men in general, if you ask them something in that situation, they'll figure out a way to reword it. So it's like they answer it, but they don't give away that they was in the wrong. And a wise man could admit when he was wrong.
The problem was, you know, with Dame, his truth was more accurate and more closer to what mine was, but his technique was harsh for me as a young kid and stuff. I felt like a little bit more pressure.
Dame was an ass.
And Jay-Z's was a nice guy. I wanted to learn this technique that Jay got of being likable.
Kanye's a funny cat to me, man, because I never know if he's acting or not. You know, I know Kanye, and when I remember that when Kanye's seen on television, the Kanye I know, so he's either really brilliant and he's a genius, or at times he's probably lost his mind, one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But usually geniuses lose their mind anyway. But I always will admire his hustle, his work ethic.
Choosing sides to go with the idol who would continue to play mind games, Ye will continue his journey with one of hip-hop's most known cunning businessmen.
It was the moment when Roc-A-Fella split. It made more sense for me career-wise to roll with Jay, even though Dame had supported me.
More than likely, Hov never thought his lesser-known protege, who was more talented as a producer, but less lyrically, would never have the chance to overtake him. Kanye would eventually do just that, becoming one of the most influential artists ever in the hip-hop community. Before we get too far into this video, please do me one small favor and apply pressure to that subscribe button. Yes, apply pressure to that subscribe button. This overpowering will begin with a friendly competition with one of hip-hop's elite at the time, a bravado MC out of Queens that was brazen enough to challenge Kanye to a sales battle. A battle that would not only end 50 Cent's elite status, but also change hip-hop's journey as a whole, marking an empire that he would rule, setting trends that would not only show his versatility, but also pave the way for other artists who might not have been who they are today without Ye's doing. One perfect example would be Drake, who was pushed upon the public, but his career would not begin to take off until after Kanye's 808 album, which many people would call a flop. You can see this trend with Drake's first week album sales of his first album.
And I said, let's just do 9/11. And they said 50 got that date. I said, okay, let's go.
So he brought his big brother with him. And his big brother ain't no competition for me.
This run debatably started with the one album where Kanye not only put 50 Cent in his place, but hip-hop as well. Graduation, where he outsold 50's Curtis album by nearly 300,000 sales. But the album included a gem whose substance would damn near narrate this entire story, where Kanye would express some of his present-day sentiments toward Jay-Z, called Big Brother. In this track, Kanye would go back and forth from his praise of Jay, while at the same time bringing light to Jay-Z's underhanded moves in the friendly but not so friendly competition between the two. Lyrics like,
Big brother got a show up in Madison Square, and did I not get a chance to spit it? Carlene told me I could buy 2 tickets.
showed the confusion Ye dealt with early on, not knowing if he was a friend or foe of Sean, implying that Jay-Z would go on to steal ideas of his.
I told Jay I did a song with Coldplay. Next thing I know, he got a song with Coldplay.
He would go on to mention his attempt to have a better verse than Jay on the track Diamonds from Sierra Leone, only for Jay-Z to come through and fully sweep the track with one of rap's most classic feature verses. It should be noted that the track from Late Registration is also the track that Jay appeared on with Ye, where he would use to make memorable shots at Dame Dash, the one who put Ye on. Jay-Z would go out of his way to almost fully shame Dame and express how he grabbed everything in exquisite fashion, and through him, the rock would be forever.
The next person's on your best day, man. It's like the end of the dance, don't bring out rain, man. What's up with you and Jay, man? Are y'all okay, man? I got it from here, Gay 10. The chain remains, the candy's intact. The name smile, I take blame for that. Okay, fresh dog gets so he gon' crack. Okay, probably I had to laugh at that.
Ultimately, this Big Brother track will be the symptoms of a deeper sickness between the two. And in the midst of a successful shift in hip-hop initiated by Ye, he would take a devastating loss with his mother giving up the ghost almost a month after the album release. His mother would die of complications of plastic surgery. Her death would have a noticeable effect on Kanye's antics, notably his mental health.
Oh! Kanye! Oh, Kanye. Kanye, you okay? You okay? You alright, Kanye? Are you okay? Stop taking pictures of that, man.
One thing was certain, there was a new boss in town that played by his own rules, which were almost none. But he didn't use his power for himself, he used them for his idol as well. He would show his loyalty to the God MC at the VMA Awards in 2009, where he would show how little humbleness he had left and how he felt he can do as he pleased when he pleased.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
This move would backfire, even leading to the president at the time, Barack Obama, to chime in with vulgarity.
She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Who knows if this was a move motivated by Jay-Z himself, who throughout the years stood up for his wife Beyonce.
I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work.
Who only recently landed a Grammy for Best Female Album after years of being shunned.
Cowboy Carter.
Whatever the case, the moment will become a joke between the two throughout the years.
I want to thank BET for, excuse me, Kanye, I'm going to let you continue, but...
Jay-Z, being the master of manipulation that he is, would not let his little brother's shine go free. Past his pinnacle, but still attempting to chase the Beatles' #1 albums record, Jay-Z would find the perfect shell to parasite, tapping his little brother on the shoulder to execute a classic dual album that would not only smash the charts, but will also launch a record-breaking world tour between the two. Watch The Throne.
To make them tuck their whole summer in.
New York City, you listen to me. If you're near a convenience store right now, any type of 24-hour store, go into the store right now and put your hand in the cash register for no reason.
The album, released in August 2011, would land #1 in the Billboard charts, utilizing a trend started from the mixtape era Jay-Z previously mastered with R. Kelly. Ye himself would sinisterly admit that it was Jay-Z's idea, which stemmed from trying to compete with Drake, who at the time catapulted to the top of hip-hop, but was also in the current friendly competition with Jay.
That was like a moment I clicked out. I was like, I don't know if this is real or not.
Yeah, Ho would have never made Watch the Throne if this nigga wasn't putting pressure on us like that.
It would seem this would be a match made in heaven for the two. Ye working heavily with his idol, and Jay using his little brother to stay relevant. But things would take a dark turn when Ye would make an addition to his life that would change everything for him, for better or worse. The relationship between Jay-Z and Kanye West will ultimately change for the worse when Ye would marry reality show star Kim Kardashian, who he once called his dream girl. There was once a time when Kanye West proudly declared Jay-Z not just a mentor, but family.
Like when I was doing Watch the Throne, one of the main reasons why I did it was to learn, Jay's techniques of how he talked to people. Man, I be talking to people the wrong way sometimes.
If it's family, you're not gonna miss a wedding.
By 2014, that bond had started to rot. This became undeniable when Jay-Z and Beyoncé skipped Kanye's wedding in Florence. This wasn't just a no-show, this was a statement. In a 2018 interview with Charlemagne the God, Kanye let it be known he felt hurt. Not just industry hurt, personal hurt.
I was hurt about them not coming to the wedding. I understand they was going through some things, but if it's family, you're not gonna miss a wedding.
Word floated that Beyonce didn't rock with Kim Kardashian, but Ye himself wasn't sure.
Or maybe, now in hindsight, maybe it was because they had their own issues that they was trying to work out. What do you think it was?
I'm not sure. I'm past it, but at the time I was hurt about it.
Did you ask him?
I don't think I ever asked him that question directly. Maybe talking through someone that worked with him. And
what he was sure about was that absence meant something. And on the same day, Babe posted a slick little selfie captioned with congratulations. Jay tried to explain it later on Friends from Everything Is Love, something about the handling problems at home.
I ain't gonna nobody nothing. Me and my wife beefing. I don't care if the house on fire. Dying nigga, I ain't leaving.
But even then, it felt like distant, like Ye was holding on to something Jay had already let go. Others blamed them absence on Rachel Roy, the same woman tied to the infamous Solange elevator beatdown. Becky with the good hair.
Rumor has it Rachel and Jay's relationship was the very reason Solange flipped out at Jay-Z in an elevator at that very same event.
Rumors said her being invited put the Carters off. Regardless, it was clear. Kanye saw them as kin. Jay-Z, not so much.
If it's family, you know, you're not gonna miss a wedding.
By 2016, all that quiet smoke burst into flames. During the St. Pablo tour, Kanye used the stage as his pulpit and Jay-Z as his target.
Well, Kanye West is making headlines again, this time for going on a rant during his concert in Sacramento.
He wasn't just ranting, he was unraveling.
Jay-Z, call me, bro. You still ain't called me.
Ye called out Beyoncé too, accusing her of politics at the VMAs, claiming she refused to perform unless Formation won over his famous track.
I will let you know that Beyonce is winning the video tonight for Formation over Hotline Bling and Famous.
That night in Sacramento, the show was cut after 3 songs. Ye left the stage, fans booed, merch got burned.
Right now, press, get ready to write your passive-aggressive LeBron James racist comments, season 4 racist comments. Get ready to have a field day, press. Get ready, because the show's over.
It didn't stop there. In Seattle, he publicly aired that Jay-Z never checked in after Kim's robbery in Paris. Said a phone call wasn't enough. He expected a visit, brother to brother.
You want to know how I'm finna come by the house? Bring the kids by the house. Like me brothers.
Within days, the rest of the tour was canceled. A week later, he was hospitalized for exhaustion, a polite industry term for mental breakdown.
And they wanted to medicate me every day. You realize, like, they could have just switched to medication and I wouldn't be here. And on the news, they would have said it was because of a mental issue, right?
Yeah.
I ain't never been back to the hospital since 2015, but every time they say I'm crazy, it's just when I'm saying the truth. So what's the crazy part, really?
What was once a friendly rivalry had morphed into a full-blown war. But this wasn't just a war over clout. It was about identity. Kanye thought they were brothers. Jay-Z thought they were business. If 2016 was emotional, 2017 got financial. Ye bounced from Tidal, Jay's streaming platform, claiming he was owed over $3 million, bonuses and reimbursements after the life of Pablo brought in waves of new subs. Tidal's reply? Kanye didn't hold up to his end on the visuals. The gloves were off. Behind closed doors, Tidal threatened to sue if Ye went elsewhere. Hov's era of utilizing Ye as a less-than cash cow was officially over. As the album, The Life of Pablo, was made available on other platforms just 6 weeks later, upsetting fans who had subscribed to Tidal specifically to hear the album. This broken promise of exclusivity resulted in an $84 million class action lawsuit being filed against both Kanye West and Tidal by a disgruntled fan, Justin Baker-Rett, who alleged deceptive marketing practices. The lawsuit eventually reached a settlement in 2019, though the specific financial terms of the agreement were not publicly disclosed. Interestingly, during this period, Reddit threads also highlighted accusations that Tidal may have artificially inflated streaming numbers for both Kanye West and Beyoncé, further clouding the business dealings between them. The dealings between Kanye West and the Carters on every front became a mess. Almost the whole entire incident between Ye and Jay-Z was captivated on the album 444. Hova, being a legend of opening album tracks, will go in on this situation on a track named Kill Jay-Z.
But you got hurt because you did cool by Ye. You gave him 20 million without blinking. He gave you 20 minutes on stage. What was he thinking?
In a Rap Radar podcast, Jay-Z would imply that the track wasn't particularly a diss song, but Ye did cross a line talking about his wife and kids.
He's talked about me 100 times. He made a song called Big Brother. We've gotten past bigger issues, but you brought my family into it. Now that's a problem with me. That's a real problem. Now we have to, and he knows the problem because me and him would have been talked about. We'd have been resolved our issue. But you know that he crossed the line.
An action that later on would turn into a habit. Hope of reconciliation would occur when the two were briefly reunited by none other than the diddler himself In 2019, at Diddy's 50th birthday party, mixed reports would claim that the two were seen talking and even laughing together, while both of their wives, Kim and Beyoncé, were seen sitting rather close. None of these reports, however, would overshadow the awkwardness seen in the photo of the two. Nevertheless, the two would collab again on Ye's album Donda on a track called Jail, where Hov seemingly sparked hopes of another Watch the Throne.
Casting stones. This might be the return of the throne.
But unfortunately, any hopes of a solid foundation of rebuilding between the two would come to an abrupt end in 2025. In March 2025, in the midst of the plethora of consistent Kanye rants, he will post a series of offensive tweets on X questioning whether anyone had ever seen Jay-Z and Beyoncé's younger twins, Rumi and Sir, before making deeply inappropriate and unfounded comments about their mental capacity. These tweets, which were widely condemned, sparked immediate and widespread outrage across social media. In response to the intense backlash, Kanye did issue a public apology to Jay-Z on X in April 2025, expressing regret for his tweet. However, this apology was immediately followed by another insulting and vulgar remark directed at Jay-Z and Beyoncé, casting doubt on the sincerity of his initial gesture. The incident drew strong reactions from Beyoncé's family. Her mother, Tina Knowles, seemingly addressed Kanye's comments in a veiled Instagram post speaking out against ignorance and evil.
Got a corny joke. Want to hear it? Here it go. So, what happens when a snowman throws a tantrum? He has a meltdown.
Beyoncé's father, Matthew Knowles, also weighed in, telling TMZ that people pay a price for being stupid, especially in the music industry, and expressing hope that Kanye would get the mental help he needed. Sources close to the Carters suggested that they were discussing how to handle the situation, whether privately or through legal channels, emphasizing that they will absolutely not tolerate such comments about their children. During the same period in March 2025, Kanye also gave a controversial interview to DJ Academics where he wore KKK-style clothing and reiterated offensive sentiments.
It hurt me that I had to hurt Jay. It hurt me. It hurt me that I said I don't f with rappers.
While this interview did not promptly feature further comments about Jay-Z and Beyoncé beyond the tweets about their children.
And what I did is I stood on it this time. I never backed down. That's my whole thing. That's why I was mad about removing, that somebody taught me into removing that Jay-Z tweet, because it was just like, nah, the whole idea is no matter what, I'm not going to back down. So by doing a swastika chain, I want you to get that that Jay-Z answer. You get what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, what about the fact that everybody knows what I'm saying is true related to that photo that I put up with my youngest daughter, right? But everything is like, but you offended Jay-Z. Fuck Kim. Kim, you know what I'm saying? How much money do you think Jay-Z make off my catalog versus what I make off it? Next subject.
Kanye's behavior in March 2025 marked a significant and deeply troubling escalation in his long-standing feud with Jay-Z and Beyoncé, moving beyond professional and personal grievances into the realm of attacking their youth. In Ye's highly controversial interview with Academics, he would throw subtle jabs at Jay-Z about his catalog owned by Hov, as well as other disputes, almost acknowledging a career of playing footstool to the character he once saw as his idol, blaming custodial rights and marital issues on the God MC.
None of these niggas, Jay-Z, Beyonce, you ain't helped me when I was having problems with my kids. You could have used your influence. No, your influence is for politics. Your influence is how you could use. You ain't show up to my first fucking wedding. You ain't my family. I always wanted some kind of family. Never had family out here. They take my actual blood family from me in my face.
Stating that the Super Bowl slot should have been his, not Kendrick's.
I want Kendrick to always remember that Jay-Z tweet before he ever crossed the line. Why do they want a Drake to be out of there? Why do they want somebody with no hits like Kendrick to do the Super Bowl, right? The people that run the Super Bowl had to come to niggas get out of hand. Oh my God, that Kanye. Would somebody take a knee for it? Where's that? Niggas get out of hand. Oh my God, that Kanye. Would somebody take a knee for it? Where's out of there? See, that's the problem. You let them last too long.
As if Ye did not previously burn corporate bridges years before this move.
Oh, hey, bro, I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence.
Nothing
I didn't
you're,
finish
nothing
my
you're saying
brilliant
has
idea.
anything to do
Hey,
with
boy,
regret.
Hey, boy.
Don't call
hey,
me
boy.
boy.
Don't finish. I told you.
Yeah, I think they've been extremely unfair to you. I think.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using the. I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking
It is
about
them though, isn't it? I mean, in 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone.
Okay, if that's your position.
That's
clear.
Interview adjourned. Love you.
The man known for once killing off his deal with Adidas, if anything, made one thing clear, that whatever was left positive between him and Hov was now overshadowed by evil.
It feels like you still have a little bit of animosity there.
I'm evil.
You don't think about like his family and other people that love him?
I am an evil person.
Maybe an evil once heralded and thrusted by Sean Carter, but now owned by Mr. West.
Jail cease to exist like a sabbatical. When I throw a couple at you, take 6.
That's my word. I never read the Bible in my life. I don't even know.
The Jay-Z tweet, Jay-Z's kids tweet makes the Nazi shit not even seem so bad.
Yeah, I feel like people feel like that was like probably the worst tweet you've said.
Or the best.
Ending one of the most legendary but polarizing relationships ever witnessed by hip-hop. But one thing's for sure, no one, not even Ye himself, knows what he'll say or even what will happen next to an artist who was once Jay-Z's little brother.
I want to thank BET for, excuse me, Kanye, I'm going to let you continue, but.
If it's family, you know, you're not gonna miss a wedding.
Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this documentary, I'm sure you'll enjoy my other documentaries, like the one I did on Big U and other folks that you can find here. Well, anyways, you know how we like to end our videos over here at Moxie Approved, right? With that water. I'll see you here next time on Moxie Approved.